hello there and welcome to the channel, and in this video we're going to be talking to you about the five mistakes that you want to avoid when planting Crocosmia. And before we start, Lorna,
hello.
Where does the name Crocosmia come from?
Is it Greek?
It is Greek.
And does it mean saffron smelling?
How did you know that?
I've watched all your videos and I'm very well informed.
Indeed, Crocosmia is made up of two Greek words, krokos meaning saffron and osma meaning odour. And why is that relevant, Laura?
Because they're all part of the same family.
They are indeed.
All part of the iris family.
Yeah, Iris iridaceae family, because so called. The leaves, when they are dried, if you immerse them in water, release the smell similar to saffron. Anyway, let's get to the 5 mistakes to avoid, and the first one is this. So there are two ways in which you can buy your Crocosmia, either as bulbs pre-planted and established in a pot, or as a bulbs loose and dry in a pre-pack from your local garden centre. And here lies the first problem to avoid. The bulbs in the packs in your garden centre, they will dry out over time, so you want to buy them as early on in the season as you possibly can and get them in the ground. The longer you wait before you buy them, these bulbs are going to be sat there for weeks, possibly even months, drying out, and that affects the condition of your bulb. So when you do plant them, if you do it later, you're going to affect the growth, the foliage production, and then the flowering, so you will get a poor display. So first problem to avoid: plant them when you see them, plant them early. Now your second mistake to avoid is to not put them in the wrong place. Now, Crocosmias, they are a native to South and Eastern Africa, and as such they can be a wee bit tender. So to get the best out of them, they need to be grown in a fully sun position, because if they are grown in shade or partial shade, you will reduce the flowering. There won't be so many and they won't be as good. The soil is also important too. They want to be a free draining soil, so avoid planting them in waterlogged soils that are clay, or soils in low-lying areas where the water table can come up and soak absolutely everything. If you do not have any ground that is prone to waterlogging, then consider this. Grow your Crocosmia bulbs either in a pot, in which they will do absolutely fine, although they may blow over in strong winds once they're established, or grow them in a raised bed. That way, drainage will be absolutely fantastic. Now, mistake number 3 is watering, and yes, I just mentioned that they do best in a free draining soil, but there is an issue during the summer, especially during periods of drought. If your bulbs dry out too much over the summer period, it will reduce flowering, it will reduce foliage the following year. So, and especially in its first year, make sure that your Crocosmia bulbs are watered, and then subsequently watered in the ongoing years, especially during periods of drought. It's an important one, that one. Now, mistake number 4, and we did touch on this a wee bit earlier. As I said before, they are from Africa, from the southern and eastern regions of, and as such it tends to mean that bulbs and plants from this region can be a wee bit tender, and Crocosmia are no different. I mean, on the whole, especially on the south coast, they'll tolerate most years, absolutely no problem at all. But temperatures do get too cold, if they do get hit by a ground penetrating frost, then those bulbs can be damaged and killed off, as we experienced last year when we had unexpected temperatures down to -7, -8 degrees, and our Crocosmia bulbs died, which is very annoying. I've had to replace them. So what do? Well, it's very simple. Identify where your bulbs are, because once they've died back down, you may not be able to find them. So prior to the worst part of the winter, identify the areas by putting down a little marker of some description, and put down a dry mulch on top of it. You'll need 2, 3, 4, 5 inches of dry mulch. A dry mulch is something that is it's got an open structure, allows water to pass through. So typically you would use a gravel or a bark chip But if it does the trick, you know, dry leaves, you can keep them in place, then it keeps that frost from penetrating the ground, then you've done your job. You should have saved your bulbs for the following year. And finally, we are now at problem number 5, the 5th of our 5 mistakes to avoid, and that is, over time, Crocosmias, they clump together, but the ornamental look of these plants will deteriorate over time. And when I mean time, I mean like 3, 4, 5 years. So in order to get the best out of your Crocosmia display, you need to lift and divide, replant out, and start all over again, and that will rejuvenate your plants. It will rejuvenate the quality and improve flowering. So that is it. Those are my top 5 mistakes to avoid when planting Crocosmia. And if you've got anything that you would like to add, any other problems you are aware of that we should also be aware of when growing Crocosmias, then let us know. We would love to hear from you. Put that in the comments. Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. But you know, I am just a man facing against the oppression of poor horticultural advice, and you know, I'd like to give in a humble way to my fellow men and women who'd like to do gardening. I don't expect any payment. It's payment enough to see your lovely smiley faces when things go right in the garden. I mean, you know, people might say I'm big-headed. Wife says pig-headed, but it's probably just the way she speaks. She's a bit weird, but you know, it's I do it for you. I do it for you. It gives me pleasure. I don't want anything for it. You know, if Gardener's World phones up, or be that as it may, or maybe Amazon or Netflix, because they've got more money. But you know, I just wanted to share that, you know, I am just a humble man, and I do it for the love of the industry.